Greetings and welcome to the Mobile Journalism Awards. My name is Rob Montgomery. I'm coming to you live from Berlin. And the scenes that you just saw, obviously, Berlin in the cinematic spotlight. It is a beautiful place to film, to find stories in the streets in the day and in the night. And those scenes are from the Festival of Lights here, which happens every October. So it's the perfect scene setter. It's evening at 7 p.m. in Berlin. Guten Abend. We have contestants, the finalists, if you will, whose work we're going to be showing from several different countries, not Germany, but Paris, the UK, Canada, Chile, right, and the USA. And so we have 6 finalists, 5 films, but only 4 movie posters. And I will explain a little bit how that works as we talk a little bit about the Mobile Journalism Awards. I do want to just give some housekeeping announcements here at the start. We do have several of our finalists standing by, so we will be able to hopefully bring them into the show at the appropriate times. We're up to 20 attendees. I know we had more than 100 people reply, so we wanted to give people time and let them know that if they are going to watch this on replay, that's certainly understandable. But if you are here in real time, you get the added benefit of live chat, so you can network here. We do have a lot of VIP attendees, people who are heads of media companies, heads of media development and training organizations, some high-profile journalists on that list. So definitely take the networking chance here that you can during the live show. Okay, so without further ado, I just wanted to let you know and introduce our finalists. If you haven't checked it out at visualeditors.com, which is the nonprofit that runs the Mojo Awards, this is a year-long process. So this is really quite an achievement to make it to this stage. The work has been screened in some events I'll talk about, but we've got a film called Pause from Marcelo Lagreze in Chile. We have a film called The Herald by a father and son team. That's how we got six journalist participants, finalists here. We have Rescue Training, which takes place in Canada, from Kevin Crane. Welshpool's Response to the Ukraine Crisis from David Rhys Williams in the UK, and Free Running on the Roofs of Paris, and that's not a typo, from Ariane Limozin in Paris, France. And so we're really honored to have our finalists join us and to share their work. Now, ideally, the original idea of these awards came from a lot of the Mojo workshops that I've done around the world. Here I was in Cairo presenting films from my smartphone on a 30-meter wide LED wall. Ridiculous as it sounds, it actually works. And I wanted actually to give that same experience to our finalists, to have that cinematic event. So I really do, hopefully we can move beyond just live events online like this and actually do some cinema screenings. Berlin would be a great place. Paris would be a great place. Canada, UK, let's do it. But that's for the future. I have had the opportunity to take your work, finalists, around the world. When I've been invited to do workshops with the American Asian Journalism Association, because I was doing training at Singapore, the U.S. speaker program invited me, and I said, I've got 45 minutes of mobile journalism, and guess what? I've got the best of mobile journalism here to share as well. And they said, oh yeah. I've also done that in Spain. I do it in Italy. Wherever I go, I try to take your work around and show it as the best of class of each season of the Mobile Journalism Award. So it's my privilege to share your work around, and it's my honor to share it tonight. It all starts with a call for entries on the Film Freeway platform. If you're not familiar, Film Freeway is a way for film festivals to manage submissions and judging, and it's just a really great platform. And so when I started to have some interest in showing my own training films beyond my training audiences, I went to Film Freeway and I discovered that some of my stuff was starting to win awards. And I said, okay, that's great for me, but it's really more of a proof of concept because I want that for the next generation. I want you guys to have that feeling. And I want students like Itzel Sarmientos from Mexico City, who won Best Documentary last year, to have that experience. And that's what's really fun about the Mobile Journalism Awards, is that anyone can win. You can be a student, you can be a broadcast pro, and you can make the cut. And we've got 3 categories to talk about. And we do curate these collections. So it's not just a fly-by-night experience. It is something that is built around standards with the help of sponsors like LumaTouch, like Rode, like Shure, ShoulderPod, IK Multimedia. We've got prizes for the finalists, for the winners. We've got prizes. So you're going to be able to choose which piece of kit will help you make your next award-winning Mojo piece. So we're really lucky that we're able to do that pretty much on a shoestring budget. Well, actually no budget, but we'll talk about that later. So we have 3 categories this year. And with the events that happened with Ukraine, the judges, we scrambled to introduce a crisis reporting category, and we got some work into that category to honor. And it just seems like it's a good fit now. As this is season 3, we've made adjustments each year to try and focus in on where can we find the best and strongest work to identify and honor. And so without further ado, let's start to look at some of this fine work. Let's look at the category mobile journalism story, because this is a pretty broad category. It's broad in that you can enter work in any aspect ratio, square, horizontal, or vertical, up to 10 minutes long. You can use any mix of small mobile gear, action cams, drone footage, smartphone is the primary one, but we know the reality. As Mojos, we're trying to use small gear to tell big stories, right? So it doesn't have to be news. It doesn't have to be a hardcore documentary. It could be travel stories, human interest. We're looking for original stuff in this category, really compelling work. And that's what we're challenging the judges to recognize. First, we would like to show a film by Kevin Crane, who's a journalist at TVA Nouvelle in Montreal. And in Kevin's entry, he writes that he went out at minus 33 degrees Celsius, so already points for being brave, to film firefighters who were doing ice water training and rescue training. So it's hard work and it's hard filming. And I think that you'll really enjoy this film from Kevin.
On se bat contre des secondes. Fait que si le saut est mal monté, la victime elle ne peut pas attendre.
Il est 9 heures le matin. Le soleil est radieux.
Coucher le moins possible.
Les pompiers du canton de Potton sont prêts à affronter l'eau glaciale du lac Massawippi. Il fait moins 33 degrés Celsius.
Yes. Parfait, rentre dans l'eau.
C'est pas mal fait, là, si tu restes debout et tu bouges pas bien.
C'est sûr que la première entrée dans l'eau, c'est une expérience en soi, mais ça s'est super bien passé, puis on continue l'entraînement.
Excellent! Avant de sauver quelqu'un, il faut penser à se sauver soi-même. Donc là, ce matin, qu'est-ce qu'on est en train de faire? C'est sensibiliser un petit peu avec le saut, de comprendre comment est-ce que ça se comporte dans l'eau. La municipalité va avoir dans son coffre à outils différentes techniques qui vont lui permettre d'intervenir pour faire un sauvetage.
Moi, je trouve que c'est tout en leur honneur, puis on est chanceux d'avoir des gens comme ça.
Si la glace cède et que vous tombez à l'eau, ces pompiers derrière moi pourront intervenir. Mais le temps jouera contre vous.
Vous avez 1 minute pour prendre votre souffle et vous avez 10 minutes de dextérité motrice. Ça veut dire que si vous n'avez pas de vêtements de flottaison, après 10 minutes, malheureusement, c'est terminé pour vous.
En moyenne au Québec, c'est 7 noyades par hiver selon la Société de sauvetage. Il y a des risques à s'aventurer sur la glace.
En bas de 3 pouces, c'est dangereux. Tout citoyen qui voit quelque chose, un citoyen qui se promène sur un couvert de glace puis il pense que c'est un danger, bien, il doit faire tout de suite un affaire.
J'avais aucune connaissance, puis je sais que je vais finir ma fin de semaine, puis on va être compétent pour si on a un appel demain matin, ça va bien aller.
Kevin Crane Desmarais, TVA Nouvelle, North Atlee.
So fantastic. Now, real quick, Kevin, do you want to say hi? Let me just see if I can bring you up. You're unmuted. Let's see if we can start your video. Is your video going?
Yes, I'm on.
Oh, fantastic. Everyone can say, hey, Kevin, wave to Kevin. Wow. That was pretty hardcore, huh? What was
Yes,
that
it
like?
is.
What was the hardest thing about minus 33 filming?
First, I have to say that it was extremely cold that day, and I have to salute the courage of these firefighters. It was one of my first solo report, because before to be a reporter, I was only a news cameraman and cameraman editor. So it was pretty fun that day. Cold, yes, of course. I used my iPhone, my little Canon R6, the drone, and my 360 camera, and just the sound of the firefighters walking on the ice, the wind. It was really special.
Wow, great. I mean, it really shows that you've got a lot of camera experience, because I really noticed those unusual camera positions just drove a lot of the visual energy. So congratulations. It's a fun piece.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. So if you could step off the stage there, and we will switch back to the presentation, if everyone can see that, and I'll just make it a spotlight. Okay, and we're going to watch the next finalist here in the mobile journalism category. And this is from Ariane Limozin, TV journalist from BFM Paris. And earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday, I was getting messages from her saying, by the way, our TV channel does everything Mojo, which I definitely want to come back to Paris and learn more about. But let's watch this film. It's pretty exciting stuff. She's, like I said, they do everything with small cameras, just like we talked about. So it's a perfect fit for this category. iPhone, GoPro, sometimes an Osmo, Insta360. I'm speaking your language. Yes. And yes, I love the immersive experience that these tools offer. The viewer has the experience to relive it. This is perfect. Yes. And the interviews are much more natural. Yes, exactly. Less intimidating. So, okay, without further ado, let's head to, I guess, the roofs of Paris.
Aujourd'hui, j'ai décidé de m'initier au free running, autrement appelé parcours. Il s'agit de se déplacer de manière acrobatique d'un point A à un autre en utilisant tout mon environnement urbain à la seule force de mes bras et de mes jambes. Et pour ce faire, j'ai décidé de faire appel au maître de l'exercice, Simon Noguera, le champion de France de free running.
Suis-moi. On fait comme ça se dit. On revient de l'autre côté. On suit ton cours ici. On franchit ça.
Mais il est fou. Mais j'arrive même pas à le suivre. Mais t'es un vrai singe volant. Non mais attends, mais c'est incroyable. Un Yamakasi, c'est ça?
Du moins, les Yamakasi ont fait une grande partie de démocratisation de cette pratique.
Combien de fois par semaine tu t'entraînes avant de pouvoir obtenir une telle fluidité de mouvement?
Je me suis entraîné avec grande passion et tous les jours de ma vie pendant au moins 15 ans. Et j'ai pas commencé de façon aisée. Hein. C'est-à-dire pas très doué, j'étais pas très fort. Il a fallu que je travaille mon corps jusqu'à tout ça, quoi.
Tu veux bien me parer? Je vais essayer de faire la même chose que toi.
Dans l'idéal, il faut que tu ailles, voilà, tout doucement, t'allonger dessus. Voilà.
Ici, oui.
Excellent. Oui, c'est ça. C'est ça. Tu restes dessus et tu vas là. Excellent. Ça y est, bravo Ariane.
Hyper simple. Puis c'était d'une grâce insensée. Je crois que tu fais des choses autrement plus périlleuses que des petits murets. Tu prends vraiment de la hauteur. Tu montes sur les toits parisiens. Tu veux bien m'y emmener?
C'est parti. Mais je dis pas ça à tout le monde. Parce que normalement, je le conseille pas, bien entendu. C'est interdit en soi. Comme moi, j'essaye pas de rentrer, j'essaye pas de dégrader, je tague pas sur les murs. Il y a en effet un vide juridique avec ma pratique. J'en fais mon métier. Donc quand il y a les forces de l'ordre qui viennent m'interpeller, je peux l'expliquer très très clairement ma présence ici. Et ça se passe très bien.
C'est pour ça que je parle avec toi et certainement pas toute seule. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait, lui? En plus, il va plus vite, il a raison. Attends-moi, Simon!
C'est parti.
Mais je suis sur les toits de Paris. C'est bluffant, c'est extraordinaire. Je vois la Tour Eiffel, le Sacré-Cœur et puis tous ces zincs de toiture parisienne. Ça me coupe le souffle, ça me coupe les jambes, j'ai les mains qui tremblent. Encore, c'est l'émotion qui est forte et en même temps, c'est grandiose. Qu'est-ce qui te donne envie de circuler comme ça sur les toits habituellement?
Le calme, le côté un peu jardin métallique à Paris, où la résonance du bruit de la ville s'entend finalement très peu.
Mais on a comme l'impression de respirer mieux, c'est amusant.
C'est l'effet carcan en moins. On a un horizon à portée de vue et ça, c'est pas commun au sol.
C'est pratique l'hiver parce que si tu te mets là là, ça tient bien chaud là au-dessus des cheminées. Mais c'est pas dangereux, je vais pas me prendre un retour de flamme.
Non, retour de flamme, non, mais j'aime bien la position où tu verrouilles ton corps au-dessus, c'est marrant, au moins t'es sûr d'être safe.
Je trouve que c'était très très glissant. Les premiers pas que j'ai fait là sur le zinc, il y a une espèce de poussière qui me faisait glisser. Comment faire pour bien garder son équilibre et pas tomber là dans le vide?
Paradoxalement, quand c'est mouillé, ça glisse pas du tout, puisque le revêtement de poussière adhère. Comment faire pour bien tenir? Soit on vient les jours de pluie, ce que finalement je conseille pas.
C'est paradoxal.
Évidemment. Soit on développe des techniques de maintien de poids sur un toit penché, et donc ça nécessite des oppositions entre les réglettes, placer les pieds d'une certaine façon où ça pousse l'un et l'autre, ou alors simplement savoir que ça glisse et jouer de ça, glisser jusqu'à évidemment.
Ne vous amusez pas à faire ça tout seul. Là, je suis avec Simon qui est quand même vraiment aguerri dans l'exercice, mais vous mettez votre vie en péril si vous faites ça. Ne le faites pas tout seul. Hein.
Complètement, j'invite personne à aller là-haut, évidemment. Regardez les images qu'on fait sur les réseaux, ça devrait suffire.
C'est assez solide le revêtement, je risque pas de passer à travers le toit?
Il faut toujours être prudent de toute façon, parce que c'est vrai qu'il y a des bâtiments qui sont plus ou moins vieux, des rénovations qui restent à faire ou quoi que ce soit, mais ça reste très solide. Et en termes de dispatch de poids, la feuille de zinc permet d'imbiber vraiment une grande surface d'impact.
J'ose même pas regarder en dessous, parce qu'il y a combien de mètres de vide sous mes pieds là?
6 étages, on est au 7e.
Ça fait super peur. Comment tu fais pour trouver ces accès improbables sur ces toits?
Je fais ça de mon quotidien, je voyage dans la ville et je passe par là où mon corps me permet de pouvoir passer.
Ça donne envie de chanter, tout ça, ça va être c'est toi le petit ramoneur là qui sort par les chemins?
Ouais, on peut comparer à ça.
Bon, et là je vois que le parcours est un petit peu plus compliqué, donc je vais te laisser y aller seul. T'es armé d'une GoPro, tu vas être nos yeux, et nous on va voir ce qui se passe dans ta peau, dans ton corps. Go.
On va se balader.
Et il est à l'aise, le Simon, il est à l'aise. Quand je t'observe comme ça, bondir de toi en toi, on dirait un chat.
Les chats, de par leur délicatesse, leur souplesse, leurs amortis, voilà, ça c'est assez inspirant. On sent qu'il se fait pas mal. Et c'est un petit peu ça, ma pratique. L'idée, c'est pas de me faire mal, ni de frustrer mon corps, mes os, mes muscles, mes articulations, mais d'être à l'aise et de savoir amortir.
Quand tu sautes, parfois je t'ai vu t'arrêter net, en rebord du vide presque.
Je me suis entraîné à ça. Et il a fallu évidemment passer des années de répétition presque quotidienne pour arriver à aujourd'hui savoir quelle distance je suis capable de sauter sans la mesurer, juste au regard, parce que je l'ai déjà fait, parce que je sais comment contracter les muscles pour arriver et bloquer l'atterrissage.
C'est sûr que tu as peur, comme n'importe qui, non, quand tu sautes au-dessus du vide.
Mais c'est pas ce que je vais rechercher. Je saute pas entre les toits en me disant ah, il y a une chance que j'y arrive pas. Si j'entreprends un saut, c'est parce que je sais que je suis en mesure de l'exécuter parfaitement et de rentrer chez moi le soir, quoi. La peur, elle arrive au moment où j'essaye de voir quelque chose, je me projette le faire, mais en fait mes compétences sont au bord, à la limite de ce que je me projette faire, et je me sens dans une crainte, je le sens dans le corps. Donc en fait le stress c'est avant, mais c'est jamais pendant, surtout pas quand j'entreprends quelque chose en hauteur, évidemment pas.
Mais à quel moment tu décides tout d'un coup de glisser, ou au contraire à un moment de faire un salto, ou tout simplement de rebondir ou de marcher? En fait, c'est ton intuition qui va s'adapter automatiquement à l'environnement qu'il y a autour de toi.
C'est le ressenti, c'est sur l'instant.
Les plus beaux souvenirs de Frédéric, c'est lesquels?
Les églises, et donc les lieux un peu plus en pierre qu'en zinc. Il se passe un truc particulier sur les clochers. Et comme à Paris, il y en a plus de 200, ça permet vraiment de visiter des morceaux d'histoire de très proche.
Hey!
Ok.
Ça va, hein?
Ouais, pas mal. Je vois qu'il y a un peu plus des ans. Et tout à l'heure, bon, alors, et voilà, en arrière. En arrière.
J'ai toujours ce cœur qui bat la chamade. Il y a quelque chose de très attirant dans cette pratique-là, très excitant même, mais ça fait diablement peur, je suis honnête. Est-ce que toi, il t'est déjà arrivé des accidents?
Au début, quand j'ai dû apprendre à utiliser mon corps, je me suis cassé le plus de choses dans ma vie, c'était à ce moment-là. Et en fait, c'est quand on ne sait pas, on dépasse très facilement la limite de nos compétences, et dépasser ces limites, c'est souvent se faire mal en fait. Moi, j'ai subi pas mal de fractures, un peu de partout, mais toujours au sol en fait, jamais en hauteur. Quand je me mets en hauteur, mon corps sait très bien ce qu'il fait. J'ai pas l'impression de me mettre en danger, tu vois. Bon là, je t'ai laissé entreprendre ce que tu as voulu faire, je t'aurais jamais donné cette trajectoire et je t'aurais jamais imposé de la faire, c'est parce que tu t'es senti capable de le faire que tu l'as fait.
Quand tu postes certaines de tes performances sur Instagram, j'ai vu qu'à chaque fois, c'est légendé avec une citation où tu deviens acrobate des mots aussi. aussi, autant que du corps, c'est amusant.
J'aime la langue, vraiment, et j'aime la triturer dans tous les sens et y trouver des résonances, des rimes.
Si j'ai envie de rejoindre des freerunners, est-ce qu'il existe des associations pour le faire?
Oui, des associations à Paris, il y en a un certain nombre, et il y en a même une qui devrait te plaire, puisqu'elle s'appelle Pink Parcours. Elle a pour essence première de ne rassembler que des femmes pratiquantes de cette discipline. C'est une pratique qui ne nécessite rien d'autre que le corps. Tout le monde a un corps, peu importe comment il est constitué, il peut évoluer dans son environnement. Aujourd'hui, c'est vrai que c'est en plein essor. Beaucoup de performeurs sportifs qui s'inscrivent en tant que vraiment extrêmement forts dans cette pratique.
Tu penses que ça pourrait arriver un jour aux Jeux Olympiques, par exemple?
C'est fort probable, d'autant que de ce que j'ai cru comprendre, la Fédération internationale de gymnastique, la FIG, s'est appropriée la pratique du parcours dans cette optique.
Peut-être le futur champion olympique avec moi, là, j'en profite, je le touche. Waouh!
Je sais pas.
Quand tu te déplaces, est-ce que c'est juste pour le plaisir de la performance acrobatique ou plus pour quelque chose de beaucoup plus poétique, onirique, où tu te déplaces dans Paris avec rêverie en fait?
Ce qui me plaît, c'est l'idée que le sol ou le décor il soit pas plat. Là, c'est un terrain de jeu super idéal. J'ai l'impression de partir en voyage sur les toits et je tâche de jamais aller aux mêmes endroits, de toujours découvrir de nouveaux accès, de nouveaux points de vue. C'est ce que je vais un peu décrocher quand je vais sur les toits.
Comment ils réagissent les gens? J'imagine qu'il y en a certains qui disent non mais vous êtes complètement fous, descendez de là, j'appelle les flics tout de suite.
Évidemment. Et puis il y a aussi ceux qui nous invitent chez eux par leur fenêtre et puis qui nous font boire un café, qui s'intéressent, qui discutent. Ouais, il y a de toutes rencontres, ouais, c'est vraiment super. Je vais aller faire un petit tour. Tu m'attends ou tu pourras rentrer tout seul?
Je pense que je vais t'attendre. Enfin, oui, je pense que je vais être patiente.
Bon, bah, tout de suite alors, j'en ai pas pour très longtemps.
Bon, bah bonne promenade. Hein. Bye bye.
And the winner for Best Mobile Journalism Story for the 2022 Mobile Journalism Awards is Free Running on the Roofs of Paris. So Ariane, would you like to come up to the stage and join us?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so happy. I'm so proud to be here with you right now. You know, it was an incredible shoot discovering my capital, Paris, from its rooftops with the champion of running, Simon Nogueira. Wow! It was so impressive to see him jumping from rooftop to another rooftop like a cat. It was as spectacular, as poetic as a vision, and filming his acrobatics only with one GoPro in his hand or in his mouth offer an amazing rendering, and all the rest of my report with entirely shot with my iPhone and Mojo application, of course, but with my selfie stick too, and with an Osmo. All this small element allows me to be a more nomadic journalist, you know, and it allows a visual rendering for the viewers much more immersive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's great. And Kevin, if you could join us too, I've got some prizes for you guys to choose from. Yeah?
Oh, thank you.
You're both winners. I just wanted to say to the audience, you do not need to risk your life to win Best Mobile Journalism category. You don't have to go freeze to death, and you don't have to worry about falling off the building. But it just so happens this year, they were pretty adventurous stories. Can you guys see me, right? We've got a G2 here from Shoulder Pod, which is a really nice gift. And then I have... well, I have a wireless Go, or I have, if you're into streaming, I've got some IK multimedia stuff. But we'll kind of give you kind of first pick here. And then I have something here from Shure. This is fun, guys. I feel like Santa Claus here. This is a whole kit. So it's got a Shure MV88. It's got a Manfrotto little mini tripod and a grip. So we'll start with you, Ariane. Are you there? Did we lose her? Uh-oh. Maybe she comes back. Oh, let's go with you, Kevin. What looks good? She's coming back on. Okay. Kevin, are you there?
I am.
Did you have a choice, or do you want to tell me later?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ariana, did you see some of the prizes you can choose from? We can do this later if it's too much pressure, but if you have a wish, let me know. Congratulations. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next category. Thanks, guys. We'll try to bring everyone back online at the end, okay? Our partners, my partners, the people that I reached out to when I had this crazy idea for wanting to make Mojo Awards. Like I said, I was starting to really fall in love with making documentaries that I had built for the classroom and then sharing them in international film festivals. So I reached out to the head of the director, the emeritus director now of the EW Scripps School of Journalism, my friend Bob Stewart. And he said, why don't we get the film school involved? We can have a screening here on campus. They do film festivals. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. So I wanted to learn about it. And so that just led to a lot of the schools that I work with in Paris and in Cairo and around the world, and with some networks. And so all these people said yes, basically. And that's why I want to thank them, because they made it possible for us through the nonprofit to build this thing as a full-blown film festival, and to be able to invite the winners. And one of the other things that I'll invite you to do probably before too long is to join me in teaching and sharing about mobile journalism and mobile filmmaking. So we've done that. You participated in the Mojo workshop that we did last year. So the winning never stops once you get to this stage, guys. I hope the prizes, you're also going to get a gift certificate worth $500 from any course that you want from the Smart Film School. So there's more prizes for finalists. And it's all made possible because there's a nonprofit, there's a charity behind it that I founded in 2004. It's a 501c3 charity, which is like the most prestigious type that you can make, because it allows you to get those donations and to be able to put it towards something like education. And that's what this is all about, building educational resources. We've done different projects over the years, but this one kind of fits the mission of the nonprofit probably the strongest, because it allows us to fill a gap that didn't exist. And that is, there was no entity out there that was putting out and trying to find the best in class mobile journalism, like you do for a lot of other journalism competitions. You know, the principles behind what makes good mobile journalism. What are the ethics? What are the standards? What are the scholarships? Where can we, provide service and build community? Because having an international competition like that gives you a vehicle to fundraise for and provide more educational resources for the next generation of students. I know how important it was in my career to have contests like this when I was a photojournalist. Maybe you have too. Winning those contests, putting them on your resume with your clips, that's how you get jobs in journalism. And there was nothing like this done by journalists for journalists, just by a nonprofit like this that was organized. And so that became the opportunity. And unfortunately, that it was also the time COVID hit, and we had planned to do screenings in cinemas and in some of those locations from the sponsors. They'd all offered a screening event, but then we went online and we got some new sponsors like Filmocracy, which gave us a beautiful platform for doing auditorium style screening events. So we used that for a few of our events. And so people have just come out of the woodwork, and that's really, really nice when it's totally unexpected, because usually my job at the nonprofit is to beg for donations and to pester the judges and to find judges, because I don't judge it. I just try to find judges. We'll get to that. But to make it that it's a real learning resource. So each season of the awards is archived for historical and scholarly purposes. So that means educators can access this growing body of work. And so you are now part of history if you are a finalist and your work is archived here at the Mobile Journalism Awards. It's hosted on the Smart Film School site, because that's where I have capacity. Okay, let's move on to our next award. The category is going to be crisis reporting. And now this is a category, of course, it has come up a lot with the Ukraine war, right? The Ukraine-Russia war. And it also came up, it's because a lot of the training I was training international correspondents, in war zones. And I realized, you know what? And a lot of the documentaries we were getting were like that. And it just seemed like in discussions with other folks, it makes sense to kind of break that off. And so in February, we had the chance, and we got something amazing, and I want to share with you. Because the obvious venues, the obvious, theaters, if you will, for these types of stories are battlefields. And certainly that's a valid place for crisis reporting disaster scenes. It's usually where they are. This example that I want to show you, this finalist, is David Williams' story from the UK. Now, David is a one-man newsroom. He is running a hyper-local news site in Wales. And so this goes in the other direction, away from broadcast work to hyper-local work, and off of the battlefield to another venue, but it is about the crisis. So here's a lens. It's called from a film that has a lens into that world, and it's from Welshpool with Love. And it's how the Polish community stepped up in a rural Welsh town when the appeals for help came.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine has stunned the world, but the Welshpool area has united to send a message of support to show the people of Ukraine that they are not alone. Following an appeal from the town's Polish community, hundreds of people have donated tons of vital supplies that will be delivered on Friday to the refugees flooding into Poland from Ukraine. The town's Masonic Hall has been swamped with donations following Monday's appeal, with surrounding towns and villages, schools, businesses, and residential homes all showing heartwarming humanity in a dire time of need.
It's been awesome. You can see the response behind me. In less than 20 minutes this morning, we filled the first van. The second van went within half an hour after that. And we have a room here and an outer room here, absolutely full. People have travelled from Harlech, from the other side of Newtown, all over the area. The response from local businesses has just been amazing. Pallets have gone from Charlie's, from Alexandra's. T. Allen Jones Limited have been absolutely amazing, helping out with transport. Individuals have stopped me in the street and just given me money, asked me to go and buy goods. People have turned up with whatever they've got this morning, and you can see it. It's just overwhelming. And people want to do things quickly, and people want to get things out there where there's a need. And you see pictures on the TV, you see what it's like in the Ukraine border and how open the Polish community being in Poland. I think people around Welshpool recognise that, and they want to do whatever they can. And the response we've had just indicates that. It's need. People need the goods. We have the goods. Let's get them out there.
And the goods kept flooding in by the carload and from across the area. A tidal wave of support to show the people of Ukraine that Welshpool stands right behind them.
Thanks, Dave. Are you there? Are you able to come on, Dave?
I'm here, Rob. I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. Good to see you. Congratulations. Congratulations. You won again. And this time it's the top honor in the crisis reporting category for 2022.
I really appreciate it, Rob. And, as a graduate of your training, thank you as well for your leadership and guidance over the past couple of years. It's been very much appreciated. And I think what this shows is that mobile journalism can make a huge impact in the way that local news is delivered these days. And it's helped to transform the delivery of local news in this rural area of mid Wales that we operate in, to the point where now we're getting funded by the Welsh government to provide a weekly news report. So it's becoming a source of
video.
work.
In video.
Yeah, we are now doing every Sunday. We do the Sunday My Welshpool TV video news report on a topic. So we've had 6 months of funding that now, doing every week. So it's tremendous way it's led. And they're all reports similar to what you've just seen. It's delivering news to a rural part of mid Wales that many cities aren't receiving. So it's fantastic.
It is really fantastic to have this work included in this year's entries. Congratulations once again. And you also have to think about which of these prizes you want to try and grab. We've got some really good stuff. I think last year, what did you win? Did you win a G2? Is that what you won last year?
No, I can't remember. I think it was wireless mics, if I'm not
Or you got
mistaken.
one of these. Okay, so
yeah,
you might
I think it was the road. Yeah,
they kind of go well together. So again, we're thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for entering and believing in Mojo. Okay.
Again, thank you, Rob, and thank you to all the sponsors, and well done to the videos I've seen so far. Are absolutely incredible pieces of work, and I look forward to seeing the other finalists as well. And best wishes to all involved.
Yep, you're in good company. Okay, let's get to best documentary. And this is obviously the granddaddy category. This is the nonfiction subject between 2 and 12 minutes on any topic. Of course, we want integrity, we want originality, we want journalism ethics. This is not Hollywood. This is not reality TV. This is work that we definitely want it to be ready for the big screen, ready for theatrical screening. So we do expect this to be a horizontal aspect ratio. And but we also expect there to be a lot of creativity. This category definitely invites and especially crosses into that realm where journalism and art can collide and also collaborate. And so that's what we're really looking for, and that's what the judges are really rewarding. So we're going to look at 2 films, one from Marcelo Lagreze and one from father-son team, Trevor and Larry Locke. So just to let you a little bit know about how this is done. Like I said, I had partners that said, yes, we'll help you with what do you need for the Mojo Awards. I said, I need a cinema screening event and I need some judges. So that's where a lot of the judges come from. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 women and 2 men, and I rather like that ratio. So if we do expand the jury pool, we'll always be trying to maintain that ratio of men to women or women to men, if you like. It just turns out that Marta Maccaro from the Thomson Reuters Foundation in London, Kim Fox, professor of the American University of Cairo, Jacques Rosselin, the head of the EFJ School of New Journalism in Paris, Naila Hamdi at the American University, Bob Stewart, and Marcelo Canova, the editor-in-chief of journalism, co.uk, are people that I've worked with over the years, and I knew that they had the expertise in this field to be really, really tough judges. And they knew that I was not going to make it easy. I gave them every film gets judged on a 10-point rubric, and this is the rubric. We don't want to keep it a secret. We want to try and be as objective as give the judges as objective a list as possible, 10-point ranking. And you can see it's really trying to get into the visual reporting, attention to detail, meaningful connections, performance, production value, pacing, structure, audio, and impact. We're trying to give them a really good rubric. And this is something we visit every year as well and say, what's a better way to say that, or what's a better way to get at that? So we're also trying to improve our systems so that we're given everything a rigorous look through. And so the work that you've seen has passed through this criteria to reach this stage. Marcelo Lagreze is no stranger to the awards. And in this year, he has introduced something. It's definitely going towards kind of a different type of storytelling, which is really cool. In this category, it's perfectly acceptable and beautiful. And basically, his movie called Pause kind of reflects on that moment that basically everyone in the world had shared. So I don't want to give it away too much. I'll just let it roll for you now. This is called Pause.
Here I am. It's in the tunnel.
Thinking, and more than thinking, I'm remembering.
Is it normal to remember so much? Memories from the past that we thought were not important.
Childhood moments, the family parties, the long talks with dad,
The long talks with mom. Laughter with my brother.
that friend from school you didn't see anymore.
I wonder how he's doing.
I wonder how she's doing.
That feeling. That smell that transports us back to special places and moments. My grandma.
Those laughs.
How can I forget him? How can I forget her?
How can I forget you?
How can we forget them?
What will become of us?
What will become of the world? When did the time go by so fast? When we lost our ways and started to be wrecked in the routine? When did we stop using our senses to discover?
To dream.
To live?
Perhaps being in a place where before the crowding and noise left no room for thoughts and reflection.
Now lonely, empty, and cold, this environment helps us to see the things that really matter. The trip is over. Here we go again, on the way to normalcy. I hope we don't forget all of this.
At least
not soon.
And I have to ask, Marcelo, are you there? Marcelo?
Hi, Rob. How are you?
Yes. Hola.
Hola, ¿todo bien? How are you? Hi,
Yes. Good to see you, man. Once again, you grace our stage with some incredible unusual work. Tell us a little bit about that, because that approach was just, that's definitely feeling more like art plus journalism, yeah?
Yeah. This is an experimental audiovisual journalist. I don't know. It's a strange thing, It's like it's the way I'm feeling when I'm walking around in this place, always with a crowd. People are now empty, and I don't know. It's happened. It's happened, and it's maybe some piece of my filmmaker way, some piece of this journalist moment about these pandemic times, and mix it and make this,
Yeah, and you wrote the text in English, right? That's amazing. I mean, it was really...
No, I write the text in Spanish.
Okay.
But at first I made the montage, the editing, and then I got in my mind, but I can't express my words. And then one night I wake up and say, man, I have to write this, write a lot, and do the text of the voice in my bathroom. And do the version in Spanish, and later give it to friends to do the Spanish, the English, and the French version too.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that process, because that really, I think that's really useful for people watching this to see. It's like some of these things just come organically. You should be documenting something because it's temporary, it's ephemeral, it's here today, gone tomorrow, it's here now, it's not here tomorrow. It's like. And then later you start to write those pictures together, and then you write to those pictures. And then, like I said, you had to then translate it. It's a really beautiful piece. Yeah.
Sometimes you write very first with the music. Sometimes you have the text before, but in this time was like there,
Absolutely. Congratulations. And if you can come off of the stage, we're going to introduce another finalist from the documentary category. Congratulations, Marcelo.
No problem.
Okay, can everyone see this? I'm going to spotlight it. And okay, so our final finalist film to watch is a father and son duo, Trevor Locke and Larry Locke. Yeah, from the USA. This is a film called The Herald. The filmmakers say it's simply a couple days in the life of the community newspaper owner, Alan Bassler, who I understand is in attendance as I look over to the chart. I know he was there earlier. I hope he's still there. Yes, he is still there. So you can actually talk with the subject of this film after it's done, as well as the filmmakers. Pretty special. It was shot with iPhones for intimacy, and it's not trying to do anything more than what it is. So without further ado, let's see what it is.
Morrison's Cove it's one of those special places on Earth. The Morrison's Cove Herald is a community newspaper. We cover the traditional things that you would think community newspapers cover: borough council meetings, crime and accidents, things that go on at the schools, the picture of your kid who won an award. It's a community with an agricultural base, but there's a strong blue-collar element to it. But then there's also there's got to be that sense of pride. Like, we have our own newspaper. I love owning a local newspaper. I'm very proud to say that I own a newspaper. I mean, how many people can say that anymore? My great-great-grandfather had been involved with it. He had been one of 3 owners. The pressures that we feel here and the changes that happen here are a lot of the stuff where the rest of the world is changing, and it just sort of drags the Cove along with it. Appian, the paper mill. We're using less and less paper. People don't write checks anymore. They use their credit card. There was talk that the company was either going to go out of business or dramatically downsize, maybe even close the Spring Mill plant, which is the plant in Roaring Spring. So the employees got together and pledged their retirement funds to buy a large interest in the company. And then it got sold anyway, and they basically lost all of that. You got to find a person. You've got to find somebody who is affected in one way or another and tell that story. Then you can add all the stuff, the money and the Wall Street and the bigger picture stuff. Now, what makes it challenging is the people in the Cove, they're guarded. And so we sometimes have a little bit of trouble getting people, well, tell us your story. There was a guy that said it wiped me out. There was one worker there that said, we were promised we'd be owners and we'd have a say. And the next thing I know, I have no say and my retirement's gone. There's all these small community newspapers. I read there was 14,000 in the last 10 years. Small newspapers all across America that have just gone away. The Morrison's Cove Herald is doing okay, but the challenges that we're facing they're difficult for a small newspaper to deal with. Google, Facebook, and other advertising options have really taken a bite out of the paper. I teach part-time at Penn State. I also work part-time as a municipal police officer, and that's my spending money. We also my wife and I own 2 laundromats. So I don't know how many jobs is that. I get texts on my phone for the fire company because I'm a member, and the text comes through with commercial fire building, commercial fire alarm, commercial fire building on fire. And it was 109 South Market Street. And I was like, that's the laundromat. So I turned the corner. There was an engine parked out front. There were a couple firefighters already. They were mostly concerned about the apartment, the entrances outside. And so they said, is there anybody up there? And we knew there was a female, a mom and her kid. And I said, I don't know if they're there, but they live up there. So they went rushing up the steps, but there was pretty heavy smoke up there. The boyfriend of the woman that lived up there, the tenant, he showed up on scene, and we're like, is Jasmine up there? And he said, no, I just took her and their kid to her mother's. We were like, okay. So then it's just a building fire. It's not. So, and then we were here for the next 4 hours. When I tell people we only have 2 reporters, they're always amazed. They think we have a whole newsroom full of people here. They think we have, I'll ask people, they'll say, I don't know, a dozen? I'm like, I think any community that has and then loses a newspaper, an honest newspaper, would feel bereft. Just like something has gone from our community that is irreplaceable. I don't think most people think of the Herald that way. I think they think of us as just another business. No one's going to come to Morrison's Cove and start a newspaper. That's not going to happen. I feel like I'm kind of carrying on my great-grandfather's, you know, what he was involved with the Herald many years ago. It runs in my veins, literally. I am terribly afraid, though, that I might be the last. I might have to quit. I might be the person that finally has to lock the door on the Herald and say, I just couldn't keep it going. Did Rick send anything about the shooting?
6 shots were fired into the house. No one was injured.
We didn't get a photo, did we?
So the winner of Best Documentary 2022 Mobile Journalism Awards goes to The Herald, Trevor and Larry Locke. So congratulations. Brilliant work. And the subject of the film, Alan Bassler, is in the chat. So Trevor, if you're there, can you come on screen and accept?
Hello. I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Okay, got you. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm very honored to accept this award on behalf of my dad and I. A couple of years ago, we decided to drive out to my dad's hometown of Martinsburg, Pennsylvania, as a father-son trip. We decided to make this short film about small town newspaper doing whatever it takes to survive, and we really wanted to focus on the importance of local journalism in today's climate. So this was shot on iPhones, and frankly, we never anticipated the reception that it's gotten. So it's been a super memorable experience for us. And as you mentioned, I want to give a shout out to Alan Bassler, who's featured in this piece, for opening his doors and letting us create this film about his family paper. So he's on the call. Hey, Alan, glad you could make it. But yeah, thank you, Rob, for putting this together, and thanks again for this award.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're honored to have work like this come in and to show it to our judges, and then ultimately to audiences around the world. And tonight to have a special story like that. I mean, yeah, I think I would like to bring all the panelists up. Marcelo, that was awesome. Everyone's inspired. I know you're getting a lot of questions in the chat here, and you've offered to answer questions about your process to people in attendance. I think that's really awesome. So I don't know if you guys can bring your cameras on, and we can kind of have a group picture. And if anyone else has any other questions, we can maybe put them to you here. But let's bring you all up and remind you there's cool prizes. Is everyone there?
Seeing everybody.
Now we can see everyone. Okay. I have to get used to these. I don't usually use these controls in Zoom. I don't do a lot of live webinars. I do classes, obviously. So good to see everyone. Let's get a class portrait, right? I'll do a little screen grab. Yay. Okay. Yeah, that's really special. Alan, I also promoted you. I know you said you don't have a mic or speaker, but you're welcome to, if you get it working there, you're there. So you also get to choose. One of the prizes I forgot to show was the iRig Pro Quattro IO that came over from IK Multimedia. It's a 4-channel, you put 4 XLR mics on that. So I think, David, you were talking about audio. There you go. Something like most of the toys I've got are audio toys. So you're gonna have to fight amongst yourself, or you kind of will work it out backstage or off stage who gets what. But I'll be in the United States soon, so I'll probably ship that to you from Florida when I'm there next month, if that's all right. Paris, no problem. UK, no problem. Canada, same thing. Probably ship it to you. Just tell me what you want. Let's see. So what did you guys think of each other's work? It's the first time you'd probably seen some of the other people's work, right? So let's just do some of that.
I'm happy to say that was fantastic. You know, each and every report, I loved it. You know, I guess we're in the entertainment business, really. That's what we're all in, whether it's hard news or featurey or breathtaking rooftops of Paris. And honestly, personally, I thoroughly enjoyed each and every report there. So well done to everyone.
What did you think, Ariane? Ariane, what did you think? Oh, is your audio working?
Hear me?
Yeah, now we have you.
Yes, it was so cool. Congratulations, all of us, all of you, sorry, because it's really immersive all the time. I like that because it's the real emotion, and it's different with normal camera, you know, with iPhone, with little equipment. We have the truth, in fact, the truth journalism or documentary. Yeah, but yeah. I think the only girl of the show.
This year, yeah, that's true. It's not always. Like I said, it's El Sarmientos. She won Best Documentary. She's a 19-year-old comm student from Mexico City. You know, she did amazing work. But I say it's funny because most of the reporters I train are female, because I don't know why, but it turns out, you know, they're maybe more attracted to the lighter weight gear, but you can tell big stories with small cameras. That's the fun, you know? And I think there was a lot of passion in all of these films. And exactly to your point, you guys are the makers, not the fakers, you know? You know, that I think it's a powerful antidote to misinformation and disinformation. If you can have genuine creative work that is captivating and entertaining, right? That it can be of high value. How about you, Kevin? What'd you think? Any thoughts seeing some of your colleagues work there?
Yes, I'm pretty impressed of what we can do by ourselves with a cell telephone. And when I'm on the field, the same way that Ariane said earlier, people are less shy than the huge camera. It's really different when I do some vox pop on the street with the telephone. They are less shy. They are more willing to tell me what they think about X, Y, Z subject. And I'd love the work of David, Trevor, everyone. It's pretty cool to see what other people can do of their works. Where I am in Montreal, I'm pretty of my own working on with my telephone. So it was great to see some job of other people.
Yeah, it is important to see how other people are doing and what kinds of stories and how they're telling them.
Exactly.
What about you, Trevor? Thoughts, reactions?
Yeah, I think just being able to see the sheer just sort of diversity of style and approach is really interesting. I just, I keep thinking kind of just what a blessing it is that we're able to just point and shoot with, our iPhones. It's just so different from even when I was a kid, right? So we're in a new world where it's been democratized. Anyone can do this. So it makes it extra special when someone decides, hey, it doesn't matter, what equipment I have, I still have a story to tell, and just interesting to see how different people, take a stab at it.
Thank you. And I'm particularly touched by the topic of your film, because that's something that I've been documenting since 2007, a series called Breaking the News, where I had talked with exactly people like Alan, publishers, editors in chief, small newspapers, big newspapers, rural newspapers. I did everything with a Sony A1 for most of that, but one of the last interviews I did was in Skye, Scotland, with an a small newspaper that became employee owned. And I walked in there with my iPhone 4. I was on my honeymoon, if you can believe it, and just exactly kind of like that. I was there, and I just had just chased it in the moment. And I think the speed to story is one of those things that just is unlocked with what the tools we have and these techniques that you guys are showing so well. Marcelo, are you still with us, my brother? If you're not, it's okay. We're really proud to have you. Once again, I just want to congratulate everyone, and I hope that you'll spread the word that it's worthwhile to enter this competition. The call for entries opens again on the 1st of November. If you have any feedback for us about categories or how this works, definitely you are now in the club of consultants that can help guide these awards, because your work has been recognized at this level. If you had any questions for me, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll just have one more round of applause and call it a wrap. Cool, guys. Okay. Thanks very much. This is Rob Montgomery from the Smart Film School in Berlin, and this has been the Mobile Journalism Awards, and we hope to see you in the next year's competition. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much,
Rob. Congrats, everybody.
Well done, everyone. All the best to you. Back to work now.
Yeah.
Take care.
Goodbye.